Okay. So, I'm just curious, in those high school years, I know that you were involved in everything. But, I know in high school years, girls and boys start to get interested in each other. You must have had dances?
That was our main entertainment, was dancing. Every Saturday night there was a dance someplace with a band of some kind. I can't remember what kind of a band, but we sure danced to it. Anyway.
Live music.
Yeah, live music, yeah. There were a couple of schoolhouses, small schools over on the lake, and they used to take the school desks out for the weekend, and then we'd have a dancer, and then they'd put the desk back in on Monday. But there were several places that we had dances. I never missed a dance on Saturday night. And then we had our dances in high school too. Of course, we had our high school dances.
Now, you were quite a dancer.
Oh, I love dancing. You know who taught me how to dance? My dad. My dad was a marvelous dancer.
Really?
And in those days, oh God, in those days when they had an Oddfellows Hall, he was an odd fellow that belonged to them. The families they never had babysitters. They always took all the kids along, And I can remember going to that. They'd have a dance, and we'd all go, and Dad would dance one dance with each one of us kids that were there. And I was the youngest, so I was always the last one, to do everything. But there was benches around the side, and when you got tired, the kids would just lay down and go to sleep until the folks went home. I can remember just making myself stay awake until Dad could dance with me. He was a big man. In fact, Neil is built a lot like my dad. You're built a lot like my dad was. He wasn't as tall. He was only 5'7". I was as tall as my dad. But heavy set. He was heavy set. But he danced from the time he was a kid in Sweden. Sweden is a great country for dancing too. They used to be when he was growing up. I know that. But I would just just make myself stay away. So he taught me how to dance. So believe me, all of us girls danced from the time.
Now, did you dance with boys at the dances, or did girls dance with each other? Or
in our class of 13, there were 4 boys. I don't think any of those danced hardly that I know of.
That's unfortunate.
But then there was the older classes, I mean, you didn't just stay with your own class, so the juniors and seniors were there too with the boys. But and then we could bring our friends, a boyfriend, to a school dance. That was out of school too, if you wanted to.
Did you have a boyfriend in high school?
Oh yes, I had one that was out of school.
Doesn't sound like a
and
fun.
that was something I learned when my daughter started dating. I said, you can date, but it's going to be kids in school. It's not going to be anybody out of school until you're at least a senior.
Is that right?
Oh, they're much too serious. Well, 4 or 5 years. He was 4 years, just exactly as old as my husband's old one was. 4.5 years. He had graduated from high school before I started. When I started high school, and he was ready to get settled down by the time I got through high school, and I sure wasn't. But anyway, that's what happened.